So autumn eventually surrendered into winter, withering itself into a deep sleep, like the leaves disintegrating on the pavement. The trees that had caught fire now bare and skeletal against the fog of the morning. The cool air now sharp and brisk, fading away like a sunset into the deep night. And so begins the season of stillness, the deep inhale, the folding inwards. Last weeks of autumn, I poured myself into checking off my autumn to-do list. I've started writing down little activities or things that I want to do in each season as almost like a seasonal bucket list, and I found it to be a really fun way to truly experience each season for what it has to offer and to move in rhythm with the natural world. As autumn came to a close, I found myself wanting to spend my mornings tucked in bed with a book and my morning coffee. These quiet mornings filled with the warmth of my blankets wrapped around me has been really lovely to sink into a space of just a bit more ease. The last couple of months have been pretty hectic. I've been assisting a yoga teacher training at the studio that I teach at, and it's been such a transformational and potent time, but it's been really hectic, and I've found that I haven't really had a lot of time to spend at home. And so these days where I have been able to be at home have been a real luxury. After getting ready for the day and making the bed and just getting everything organized, I have been starting with a little morning practice, either meditating or taking some time to dive into some self-study. I've also really been loving how in these cooler months I naturally start wanting warmer, more heartier foods like morning porridge with lots of seeds and nuts. Today I had pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and some chia seeds, as well as some walnuts and pecans.
It seems that he was always accompanied by a disembodied spirit, whom he called Hazrat. This invisible entity was able to fulfill the fakir's slightest wish. Ignoring his master's warning, Afzal began to misuse it, usually made the Mohammedan an objectionable guest. The fakir was not highly developed.
Necessarily a love story. You know, in this book, love bends and breaks, and it creates, but it also destroys. The book
that is something that happens on the mat, or maybe that is something that happens in your life energetically. In your hands, so that at the same time you can traction your arms forward. Maybe if you have a sticky mat, you get a little curl your spine around, knee to nose, pull it forward, shift your weight forward. One more breath. And then squeeze right into your chest, hands or no hands, round, round, round. And right foot to the earth. Stretch all the way up. In order to be able to expand and move free from there. Last oscillating cobra, very quick top. Come up the center. Go the opposite way. So left shoulder sort of draws back, right shoulder slides forward, and take a peek over your left. Doesn't have to.
I'm super excited because my new bed sheets have arrived and I've been waiting for them to come so that I can give my room like a little bit of a autumn slash it's nearly winter, so autumn winter makeover, and I'm super excited to get it all happening. So I have a couple of ideas. I've also gone and bought some festoon lights because I want to make this room just a little bit more cozy, add some more like ambient light to the mix, and also really want to make like a little plant wall behind the bed head here, because I've got a couple of plants that have been growing and they're like flourishing at the moment, but they're kind of taking over out in the living room. So I want to bring them in here and do like a plant, maybe like up the mirror here that's next to my bedside table and like up onto the wall. So without further ado, we're going to get into this little room makeover, and I'm very, very excited to transform this space.
May you always find your way to higher ground. May you always keep your head held up high. Pretty little thing, you're a diamond in the rough, shining from within. I can tell that you're tough. Just the sight of you when I'm at my weakest point makes a world of difference, oh you make me strong. Pretty little thing, you're a diamond in the rough, shining from within. I can tell that you're tough. Ordering a cup of love, feel it rising up and above. You will always keep my heart and soul strong. Plant your seeds and watch them grow. The light will always know where to go. You will always keep my heart and soul strong. You're the first thing in the morning and the last. Baby, you're my future and you are my past. Pretty little thing, you're a diamond in the rough, shining from within.
Hello my loves, it's been such a long time since I have uploaded a video, probably like, oh, it's got to be getting on to like 2 months or something now. But life has just been kind of a wild ride recently in a really amazing way. I've been assisting the Sala YTT with Sarah and Kirsty, and it's just been such a expansive experience. I'm essentially getting to reacquaint myself with a lot of the philosophy that I have learned from my teacher training and in the teacher trainings that I've assisted now through a tantric lens. I didn't even really realize that a lot of my training had kind of stemmed from classical yoga. After reading Tantra Illuminated, I really did resonate with the teachings of tantric yoga, but I didn't really know the differences between the two, and so to be able to really dive into that and unpack it all and to be triggered by it literally every single weekend has been intense and beautiful. And so the last couple of weeks, the last few months have just been kind of insane for that reason, because one, I've just been super busy with editing and getting all of my work from wedding photography finalized. So throughout the week I'm at my desk usually editing those and getting on top of my photography work, and then on the weekends I am assisting this YTT from Friday through to Sunday. So I haven't really had a lot of time to film, and even really a whole lot of time to breathe. I'm usually so good at giving myself lots of space to like rest, and like spaciousness is really important to me, and I still have such a value on it, but it's been really nice to, I don't know, be just in it, just really in it, and to be teaching lots and learning lots. And even though I'm assisting the training, the material still does its work on you. So I've been coming home, honestly, just like kind of in tears and with a lot of newfound discoveries, and just greeting little shadow elements of myself that I didn't even realize were in the shadows, and just kind of reintegrating them back into the wholeness that is me. With those discoveries, there's like a lot of unpicking and reprogramming and illuminating that goes on, and it's not always easy. It can sometimes be really confronting, and I've found myself coming up against a lot of resistance in the last couple of weeks, but just trying to sit into it and, you know, allow myself to move through the obstacles, knowing that those obstacles are actually a real gift and blessing to me, because they are showing me the way and lighting my path up and allowing me to bloom into the fullness of what I can be. So yeah, anyways, I wanted to jump on in here because it is autumn, and I have really fallen in love with reading fiction over the last year. And so I have a bunch of books that I got that I want to read through autumn and winter, as we are really in the thick of autumn at the moment and kind of moving into winter very soon. I have some books that just make me feel like all of the cozy winter vibes. The one that I'm currently reading is this one here. It's called The Bear and the Nightingale. It is a fairy tale about this girl called Vasilia, and I'm about halfway through it at the moment, and it's set in the wilderness of northern Russia, and it's just such a beautiful tale filled with folklore and sorcery and like wild magic, and it just has been like really beautiful to sit and cozy up and read while it's been like pouring with rain outside. I'm really loving it so far, and I'm halfway through, and it's one of those books that I feel like I'm going to be really heartbroken when it actually finishes, because I'm just like loving being in this world and in this story. The rest I haven't read yet, but these are kind of like my TBR to read through the rest of autumn and winter. I have A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. This is, I'm just gonna read like the bio because I haven't read these before, so I don't really know a whole lot about them. Deep in the heart of Oxford's Bodleian Library, Diana Bishop, a young scholar and the descendant of witches, unearths an enchanted alchemical manuscript. Wanting nothing to do with sorcery, she banishes the book to the stacks. But her discovery has set a fantastical underworld stirring, and soon a horde of demons, witches, and other creatures descend upon the library. Among them is the enigmatic Matthew Claremont, a vampire with a keen interest in the book. Equal parts history and magic, romance and suspense, A Discovery of Witches is a mesmerizing and addictive tale of passion and obsession that reveals the closely guarded secrets of an enchanted world. The next one I have is by Neil Gaiman. It is The Graveyard Book. I really love this cover. I love actually how all of these books, they kind of like have like this real like wintry feel even on the covers, like they're those blue tones, except this one. This one's obviously like a bright red. I feel like all of my books that I read during spring had like those lighter tones to them, even in the covers. It takes a graveyard to raise a child. Nobody Owens, known as Bod, is a normal boy. He would be completely normal normal if he didn't live in a graveyard, being raised by ghosts with a guardian who belongs to neither the world of the living nor the dead. There are adventures in the graveyard for a boy, an ancient indigo man, a gateway to the abandoned city of ghouls, the strange and terrible Slayer. But if Bod leaves the graveyard, he will be in danger from the man Jack, who has already killed Bod's family. And then I have Sally Thorne, Angelica Frankenstein makes her match. Have you ever wanted to create your perfect person? Clever, pretty, and odd, Angela Frankenstein has run out of suitors. When assisting in her brother Victor's groundbreaking experiment to bring a reassembled man back to life, she realizes that having an agreeable gentleman convalescing in the guest suite might be her chance to let a man get to know the real her. But when the handsome scientific miracle sits up on the lab table, her hopes for an instant romantic connection are thrown into disarray. Perhaps fate is not something that can be influenced in a laboratory. Or is Will, or whatever his name is, her dream man, tailored for her in every way. I've seen a lot about this book, so I'm really excited to read it. Just kind of a new take on like the Frankenstein story, and just like sounds like it's going to be filled with all of those autumny vibes. The next one I have is Fangs. I love this book cover. I think it's so beautiful. Like the kind of fabric book cover is really, really gorgeous. And this is unlike anything that I've ever read before because it's more of a graphic novel. Hold on, can I try and flick these pages so you can see? So it's like very comic book styles, which I just like have been really wanting to read in a long, long time, is like more graphic novels. I feel like it's just really nice to kind of take out maybe when I go for walks on the beach to just like sit and read more of like a graphic novel. And I love the fact that like the paper on the outside is like all black. Oh, I just think it's really, really pretty. Very excited to read that one and to flick it through. That's by Sarah Anderson, and just like such a pretty book. The next one isn't a book of fiction, but I actually bought this as a present for Daniel recently. It's a Curious Forager's Field Guide to Fungi in Aotearoa. Something that me and Daniel really like to do for fun together is to go for like walks and to like try and spot different types of mushrooms. It's been one of our favorite things that we do when we go for like early morning walks out here in the Waitakere Ranges. And I saw this book at the bookstore the other day and I just immediately thought of Daniel. And that's kind of how we buy presents for each other, is if we ever just like see something and it reminds us, we just like buy it. But I feel like this is more of a shared present because like whenever we go for walks, we always try to like spot different mushrooms. And this just looks like such a comprehensive guide. It's got so many photos, and like when it gets to like all of these mushrooms that you can forage for in here, it's really, really helpful because it's got like the name, it's got the common names, it's got the typical environments that they grow in, it's got like the difficulty and how difficult they are usually to find, it's got the season of when they're growing, and then it also sometimes usually has a part in it that tells you like places that will actually usually have it. So it's been so cool to kind of just have a little general flick through, but I feel like this is going to be one of those like more handbook style ones that after we get back from walks, maybe we'll like put together like a little mushroom foraging kit and we can like bring them home and identify them, because that it's just like one of our favorite things to do. And I think it like gets you out and walking even on like those cold, stormy, rainy winter days. So yeah, those are my books that I have for autumn and winter. I kind of can't believe that it is nearly winter time already. Like it's already May and it just feels so crazy. But today is one of the very rare days of sunshine that we've had recently. The last couple of months, New Zealand has kind of, well, at least the North Island has just been hit with like cyclone after cyclone after cyclone, even through the summertime. And it's kind of not relenting this autumn and winter. But today is one of those few days that we've got a little patch of sunshine out there. So I'm going to go for a little stroll, take Pip for a walk, and I'll see you very soon.